This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. How a 2-year-old boy vanished in Clarendon. The mother of missing 2-year-old Jamil Mendez believes that a sudden urge to scroll through photos of her young son might have been an omen that something was wrong. That intuition caused the 26-year-old Kira Williams of Rasta Corner in Freetown, Clarendon, to go check in on her son, who had left for the neighbor's home where he usually plays with other toddlers on Thursday afternoon. Williams said when she called out to him and was told he was not there, she passed it off as a prank. But when it became clear that everyone was unaware of her baby's whereabouts, Williams began a frantic search. A man undertaking construction work at their home indicated that little Jamil came back to the house, but he had not seen him leave, the mother said. But somebody else hadn't seen my baby in the lane stand up by himself, so maybe that's when them could get to take the baby, she said. The mother said she has not eaten or slept since the younger of her 2 children went missing. Searches across several communities across the parish and the neighboring St. Catherine turned up empty, with teams combing through sections of Old Harbour St. Catherine on Saturday. While there, she got word that her baby might still be in Clarendon. The hunt took them to Sandy Bay, but again, nothing. Williams is fearful for her child, as she said Jamil has never slept without her. Everywhere me go, me and me baby. Either me or him father. Like how him go down at me neighbor house, him not spend 1 hour there. If he miss me, him come check on me, the mother told the news. She contends that the police are not doing enough to help locate her son. The police them now push out the most effort to help look for me child. When them a come, and no more than about 3 of them a come. You can't come with 3 police to look for somebody. Come with soldier, police, helicopter, dog and everything, she said. Messages to Deputy Superintendent Antoine Ger Cardozo, the Clarendon Police Operations Chief, were not answered up to press time. The mother is also appealing to anyone who might have her son to hand him over or to leave him at a police station, supermarket or other public space. We no have to see them face. I just my baby me need back. If me have to do anything to get back my baby, me will do anything, she said. Clarendon South-Eastern Member of Parliament Pernell Charles Jr. said the team is working assiduously to locate baby Jamil. Referencing a double murder in Rocky Point on May 7, the killing of a hairdresser in Palmer's Cross 4 days later, and the shocked death of the Vere Technical High Principal on May 12, Charles said the constituency has been dealt a hard blow. The lawmaker said he has also been working closely with Clarendon South-Western Member of Parliament Lothan Cousins to combine efforts in the search for the infant. Acting on intelligence, the police also raided a community in Clarendon South-Western. This is a most unfortunate situation, and I think every one of us not only feel concern, but a deep sadness in terms of how the family and community must feel, said Charles. He added everyone is putting together and doing what they can through social media, through phone calls, on the ground, so thanks to everyone who is pulling together and let us continue to push. Charles is imploring anyone with information to contact the police or other community leaders. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of Jamil Mendez is being asked to contact the Longville Park Police at 876-902-5047, 119 or the nearest police station. Between 2010 and 2020, more than 15,000 children have been reported missing in Jamaica. Statistics from the Child Protection and the Family Services Agency indicate that between 2017 and 2021, a total of 6,686 reports of missing children were made at police stations across the island. Of that number, 5,106 were located, while 1,560 remain unaccounted for. Salary consultations with unions to conclude in 6 months. No worker will be worse off, says a Finance Minister. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark says consultations with unions over the restructuring of compensation for government workers should be wrapped up within the next 6 months. He gave the update in a national address yesterday evening, as he warned of dire consequences such as job cuts if there are further strikes by government workers. Last week, air traffic controllers and employees of the National Water Commission and the National Housing Trust took industrial action. At the last moment, one of the largest unions, the 30,000-strong Jamaica Civil Service Association, withdrew a notice to take industrial action this week after a meeting with Clark. More than 95% of the water agency's customers were affected, and the country's airspace was effectively closed Thursday, imposing likely heavy costs on the tourism industry. Clark said given the huge scope of the compensation review, the ministry decided to conclude first with central government employees, such as civil servants, teachers, the police, nurses, among others, and then move to employees attached to public bodies. He pointed to several public bodies where concerns are because of a lack of engagement so far: Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency, Petrojam, National Water Commission, National Irrigation Commission, Broadcasting Commission of Jamaica, and the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority. Though this timeline may seem so far away, I ask you to consider that such a comprehensive reform with respect to public sector compensation has never happened before. We have been ambitious in looking after your interest. We therefore ask for patience, Clark said. The compensation review involves 110,000 employees organized into 47 bargaining units and spread across 140 public bodies. Meetings have been held with 45 of the bargaining units so far, the minister said. Please take us at our word that no public sector employee will be worse off, Clark said, admitting the possibility that there could be cases where the proposed changes lead to less net pay. But he said if it comes to that, we will work to find a fix. Several unions have accused the Ministry of Finance of poor communication, with the JCSA arguing that it has been disrespected when letters to the Financial Secretary, Darlene Morrison, are met with responses from her juniors. Clark's address follows a call Friday from the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica for patience from workers and the transparency from Andrew Holness administration, which is facing its first major industrial crisis since taking office in 2016. Amid his repeated begging for patience, the finance minister outlined that it would against the interest of workers to take action that could derail economic recovery in jobs and tourism, especially after the hit from the COVID-19 pandemic. This much-needed economic recovery can easily be interrupted and reversed if services are disrupted due to industrial action, he said. Such a reversal would set Jamaica back tremendously, costing jobs. This would negatively impact us all, from the decline in government revenue that would follow and the cuts in government expenditure that would then become necessary. Jamaica cannot afford this. I appeal to all public sector employees for patience and for calm, added Clark, echoing similar urgings from Prime Minister Andrew Holness. The finance minister said that the government understood the apprehensions and the fears of the government employees. We know that you have been awaiting a long time for the compensation restructuring reform, and many are now anxious, he said, noting that there may be some misunderstanding by workers because of incomplete information on the process. He said they should await the outcome of the consultative process between the unions and the government. The finance minister was clear, however, that a complex and ambitious reform in how public sector workers are paid is necessary. He has argued that the reform will create a new compensation system that is simple, fair, consistent, transparent, efficient, fiscally sustainable, and that better allows the government to attract and retain the talent needed to run a modern bureaucracy. Nurse migration can't be stopped. Implement policies for win-win situation, says Guy. The worrying problem of nurses migrating by the hundreds each year for better opportunities is not something that can be stopped, says the opposition spokesman on health and wellness, Dr. Maurice Guy. According to Guy, migration is in their DNA. We need to come to terms with this and to put policies and programs in place to resolve this phenomenon in a win-win situation, said Guy. He made the comments recently during his contribution to the sectorial debate in the House of Representatives. I think it is time that we as legislators and constituency representatives recognize that no matter what systems we put in place, our people will always want to migrate, Guy added. The St. Mary Central Member of Parliament noted that historically, Jamaicans have always gone in search of better opportunities. Jamaicans have gone to Cuba, a wave of workers went to Panama to build the Panama Canal, Some went to Costa Rica and Nicaragua. Many have migrated to the United Kingdom, the United States, and Canada in more recent times. Jamaicans are everywhere, Guy stated. The world has recognized that we have become a country where training and the qualification of professionals have become the way of life, and therefore the government needs to capitalize on this propensity of all people by making investment in training and development at this level. In looking at this, we cannot confine our thinking to just the effect that migrating nurses will have on the health sector, but it has to be looked at in the overall impact it will have on the economy and the development of Jamaica, he added. Yet Guy acknowledged that the high rate of attrition of nurses from local hospitals as a result of recruitment from abroad has left the operations of these facilities in serious jeopardy. The opposition spokesman reminded that in his sectorial presentation last year, he recommended that the government attract and retain more nurses in the system by offering scholarships, paying the yearly cost, and assuming the responsibility for the student loans and bonding them. The nurses we are losing have taken loans, and the onerous repayment burden has caused them to look elsewhere. It is not beyond us to find a solution to this problem affecting our healthcare system for many years, he said. He said he was in support of the decision by the Ministry of Health and Wellness to increase the number of permanent nursing posts in the service, but said more such posts should be created. We are again calling on the minister to ensure that employment is provided for graduate doctors from the medical schools and for him to provide incentives to those required to work in deep rural communities and an additional incentive for postgraduate training. In some way, this will attract them to fill posts at those health centers, Guy recommended. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.